Hello, in this video we're going to go over finding the median in a set of data. The median is the middle number in a set of data. The first and most important thing to do is make sure that your data set is ordered from least to greatest. When you have a small amount of data set, it's very easy to see which is the middle number. Here I have 5 pieces of data and the middle number is 7. There's an equal amount of data to the left of the 7 and an equal amount of data to the right of the 7. So it's easily identified as the middle number. Here is another small set of data, 4, 5, 6, and 8. In this case, we have two middle numbers. We have the 5 and the 6. So therefore, the median will fall directly in between the 5 and the 6 at 5.5. Notice when I have an odd number of data pieces, I have an exact number as my median. When I have an even number of data pieces, as in the bottom one, my median will be between two numbers. When data sets get larger, it's very difficult just to look at the set of numbers and find what the median is. So we're going to be using a formula to find the position of the median to help us find our median value of our data set. The formula that we're going to be using is n plus 1 divided by 2, where n is the number of data we have. So let's make up a data set. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, 9, 15, 15. All right, let's take these sets of numbers. We have, and again, the most important thing to start with is to make sure your data set is in order from least to greatest. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pieces of data. So I'm going to use my formula to find the position. 9 plus 1 divided by 2. 9 plus 1 is 10 divided by 2 is going to be 5. So that means the fifth number, or the number that is in the fifth position, is going to be our median. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This number is our fifth position. Therefore, the number 4 is the median of this data set. Let's take a look at another example. In this data set, again from least to greatest, I have 11 pieces of data. So I'm going to use my formula, n plus 1 divided by 2. I have 11 pieces of data plus 1 divided by 2 gives me 12 divided by 2, which is 6. That means my median is in the 6th position of my data set. So I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This number is in the 6th position. Therefore, the value of the median of this data set is 11. Let's take a look at a situation where we have an even number of data. Like I said on the slide earlier, that when we have an even number of data, our median is going to be between numbers. So let's see what that looks like. I have 10 pieces of data, so I'm going to do 10 plus 1 divided by 2, which gives me 11 over 2, which is 5.5, or 5.5. That means my position of my median is going to be between the 5th and the 6th piece of data. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is my 5th and 6th piece of data. The median is the line in between the 5th and 6th piece of data. So directly in between 10 and 12 is 11. So the median of this data set is not actually a data value, but it is 11. We're going to look at a similar but slightly different situation. I still have 10 pieces of data, so I'm going to do 10 plus 1 divided by 2, which gives me 11 over 2, which again is 5.5. Now, That again means that the position of my data is between the 5th and 6th position. So count up, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is my 5th and 6th position, 10 and 13. Well, it's not as easy as before to find the middle. So what you need to do is you're going to add the 10 and the 13 and divide by 2 to find the exact middle. So I end up with 23 over 2, which will end up being 11 and 1/2. So the median for that set of data is 11 and 1/2. Now let's use a dot plot and find the median using the same method. I have 15 pieces of data, so I'm going to use my formula, n plus 1 divided by 2. So I have 15 pieces of data plus 1 divided by 2 is going to give me 8, which again represents the 8th piece of data. I'm going to start on the lower left-hand side at my lowest data value, which is 2, and I'm going to count up 1, 2, 3, 4, move to the bottom of the next column, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is my 8th piece of data. So therefore, that is the piece of data that represents the value of my median. I'm going to circle that for us. This is our 8th piece of data. And our 8th piece of data is in the 4 value. So the value of my median for this set of data is 4. Let's look at one last situation. Here is my dot plot, and in this dot plot I have 12 pieces of data. So I will do 12 plus 1 divided by 2, and that will give me 13 over 2, which means my data is going to be, my median, is going to be between my 6th and 7th piece of data. I'm going to start over on the bottom on the left-hand side, down over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here is my 6th piece of data, and here is my 7th piece of data. So this was my 6th piece of data. This is my 7th piece of data. The value is 4, and that value is 5. So my median is directly between 4 and 5, and directly between 4 and 5 is 4.5 or 4.5. So 4.5 is the value of my median.